time for you to know and for us to start a show. Have a drink and take a seat here on Brewsic and Boozies.
Let's take a seat. Grab a drink.
Recording in progress.
It still shocks me that it does that for you.
Yep.
Anyway, welcome back to another exciting summer-themed episode of Brewsic and Boozies. We did a summer camp episode. Now we're doing, well, both of these movies aren't summer road trip movies, but one's a summer road trip movie and the other is I don't know, what would you consider it?
Yeah, it's a out of school summer camp movie. There's really no other way to describe it. It is what it is.
Yeah. But we're going to talk about the Goofy movie and a little bit about an extremely goofy movie, because you can't talk about one without the other.
Is it the Goofy movie or a Goofy movie?
Oh, good question. A Goofy movie? I feel like it's a Goofy movie.
A Goofy movie.
Yeah, a Goofy movie.
Okay.
And surprise, our fact checker's back this week.
Well, I luckily had the case behind me just to double check.
Good call, Christopher. Good call.
Case closed.
Yes, we have all of our goofy paraphernalia around us.
And
got the movies.
Actual goofy things. The character goofy.
Such a bad joke.
Okay.
But yeah, this one, we've been planning this one for a while because I had watched it originally when I was still in New York. So that was at least 2 months ago. And we've been kind of like saying, we got to do the Goofy movie. We got to do the Goofy movie.
We have it on the back burner for a while just because we want to get to other things first, because we know we'd want to go deep into this movie, but also have it like, I think we want to have it like just kind of ready to go and not so much like, oh yeah, let's just do it and get it out of the way. I think we wanted to save it for a good day. So I'm glad it's now summer. We kind of get the mood going with it.
Yeah. I just got back from a road trip. So it also
exactly. Our experiences have different lenses on when we watch it.
Yes.
When we're around that kind of feel of the movie, I think helps. Especially definitely. Like Space Jam last week, knowing Space Jam's coming out soon. That's like a kind of like gets you excited for things.
Yeah. So if you're going on a road trip, you have to watch this movie basically. And also don't forget about National Lampoon's Vacation, because that's like the road trip movie.
The road trip movie, yes. And then there's also just road trip.
And then there's also road trip. But yeah, that's kind of, I just also went to Disney. I saw Max Goof at Disneyland. He was fishing, which was perfect.
Oh, that's really cute.
Yeah.
Now, is a guy dressed up as Max Goof, you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
It's one of the characters.
I'm thinking like you saw the actor who played Max Goof just fishing randomly. There he is.
No.
And it's like, what? How fitting.
Why are you fishing in Disneyland?
Well, he's like, I learned what I learned from that movie, and this is what I do now during my summers.
In real life, he does.
And it's his destiny. It's his lake destiny. So.
Oh. So, what are you drinking? What do you got going on?
So, everyone, today I actually made a drink and not just made the same thing I usually just kind of quickly make. I looked up on the internet to see what kind of signature drinks I can make for this episode. It being goofy, I'm like, is there something called like a goofy or a goofy goof something? And then I looked up, it said goofy juice, and I'm like, okay, that's close enough to what we're doing. And I did not make it exactly what the recipe said, but I saw something with pineapple juice, 7-Up, and I had those two things, and it said some kind of other alcohol. So I grabbed the nearest alcohol and I added that in. So this is a goofy, very, very goofy, extreme. If anything, this is the extremely goofy juice. But that being said, I also pointed out just a minute ago, we were talking, and I had found online that there is something called a goofy juice that is made by Disney, or I don't know if it's Disney made, but it's a Disney signature, different fruit flavors for different Disney characters. So there's a pineapple juice for Goofy. I think there's a strawberry, or there's a cranberry one, something like that. Orange one for Donald Duck, something like that, and so forth. I thought it was cool. So kind of blended all those things real quick together, and that's what I got. What are you drinking?
There's so much lore behind your drink today this week.
Too much. Too much thought.
No,
just right. Okay.
Just the right amount.
Sure.
So on my road trip, we stopped in Napa. So I bought a bottle of wine in Napa. So I'm drinking my delicious bottle of Malbec that I bought. But yeah, if anybody out there likes Malbec wines, this one was made in the US, which is kind of rare to find. And I will put the name of it in the description because I can't think of it right now. But yeah, it's actually really good. And it's made here in the US.
You give me like this Game of Thrones vibe for some reason. Like I'm drinking wine.
I just got this chalice.
Yeah.
Also, this is an Epcot class, so we're going full Disney this week.
Oh,
it's hard to see
it now.
It's hard to see it. There's like a huge.
Now
flare.
I see it. Yeah. Oh, cool. I tried looking for a Disney mug or glass. I couldn't find it. It's by someone or cup somewhere. I just didn't see one. So.
Oh well.
Next time I'll look for one if we do another Disney themed episode.
I'm sure we will, because we are.
I'm pretty sure we will too.
Mencken, maybe.
So.
All right. Yeah. So, go ahead.
How should we start this? I mean, I think our first experience is how we always kick off the episode. But would you like to go first and tell me what was your first experience seeing a Goofy movie, and did you see it much later or did you see it as a kid?
No, I definitely saw it as a kid.
Okay.
I don't remember going to the movies to see it, but I'm sure we did because like I grew up basically in the Disney parks. So I'm sure we saw it in the movies, but the earliest memories I have of like Goofy is Goof Troop. I remember watching Goof Troop.
Yes.
And then I don't know if you're going to remember what I'm about to say, but there is a Goofy movie, Christmas movie.
Okay. Yes.
And they get away to a cabin with Pete and his son, with Max. No, what's Pete's son's name? They go to a cabin.
No, it's not Once Upon a Christmas, like one of those Disney. That's not a Christmas Carol, Christmas movies with Mickey or anything like that.
It's called Have Yourself a Goofy Little Christmas.
Okay. I remember that title now. That just came to mind. Okay.
It always sticks out in my mind because we used to watch it. I think I have it on VHS somewhere too. We used to watch that all the time, but I don't remember. I remember definitely seeing it when I watched a Goofy movie recently when I was older. I was like, oh yeah, of course. And I think Extremely Goofy movie, I think I was just too old to like be into it because we were at that point. It came out in 2000, so it was like late.
Yeah. Okay, that's actually very kind of similar to my experiences with it. I saw it with, I don't even know. I rented it. I think I used to borrow it from the library a lot or wherever I would get my videos from. And it was one of my most favorite movies to rent and watch as a kid. I remember seeing the trailers for this movie a lot in other Disney movies, if that makes sense. So if you were going to watch a movie on VHS, this was like one of the bigger trailers for a movie to watch. I remember seeing this trailer a lot on TV. I don't remember Goof Troop that much, but I remember watching it a lot. It was on in the morning, I think, a lot of the time. I can't remember a single episode, but I just remember knowing the characters and the voices, and that all kind of connects somewhere. I remember, Pete's family being there, and the Goofy's families that he has a kid, and that was kind of new for a lot of those were a lot of brand new characters for Disney. That, to my knowledge, I could be wrong. I don't know if maybe something else. Max was even younger, but I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I know Pete is Pete is an older Disney character that they kind of absorbed into the Goofy universe.
Right. Well, Pete's been around forever too. Yeah. So making them then kind of like pals is kind of funny, even though they're not really, but they're kind of like, it really reminded me more of, it kind of have like a lot of those TV dad kind of shows kind of had. I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah, like
for Goof Troop,
kind of.
Yes, almost like a Full House. Like this is like the crazy neighbor, but they're buddies, even though he's kind of a jerk to him. And
or like The Simpsons,
but
Homer
I just
and Ned Flanders.
perfect example. Yes, kind of like that. And I just remember the theme song to Goof Troop was awesome. I love that Goof Troop. Because we're the Goof Troop, that we always stick together. We're the Goof Troop. I can't sing. It's so high. But like I'll hear like that song in my head somewhere throughout the year, just randomly. Because I used to hear it so much. Yeah, and I loved it. I remember loving that song. So okay, but that being said, I remember watching this movie a lot, renting it. I remember like one of my friends in first grade brought it for us to watch. So I was in first grade. I think this movie was already out. That's crazy.
It
So
came
what's
out
the year in this movie?
95.
Okay. Yeah, so I was already in first grade.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very like I think I was just not into that idea of watching it. I don't know, because it wasn't like an Aladdin, or it wasn't a, one of those bigger Disney kind of movies, like a Lion King. So I didn't think it was going to be that good or that serious, like worth watching, even though I like those characters from the TV show. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just like, it was not something as special to me until I finally saw it. And I'm like, oh, this movie.
I don't think this movie did well in the theaters.
Probably
anyway.
not.
Like, I think it's bigger now than it was.
Oh yeah,
when came out.
it has a huge like I said, I think it's a huge following for the people who were exposed to it at that age.
Yeah.
And it's sad because it really is a special movie. It's such a well done movie.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard
It
to
really
like,
is.
oh, it's like, what's this? I don't understand. Why is this a movie just about Goofy? Like, who cares? Maybe some people who saw that, something to take their kids over the weekend. It wasn't something everybody was going to go dying to go see,
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, it's something different.
Yeah, I mean, we really liked it when we were kids.
I think I just related to it a little bit too. It's more of a, it's a father and son story, but I think it's also just kind of like that era of things I saw. I just kind of experienced in my life as a young kid with older siblings / family members who were probably Max's age in that movie, if that makes sense. Because Max is like, high school in this movie, I guess. Sort of.
At some, maybe, I guess.
Yeah. And I think that was kind of the more interesting side. I think I was more into it because I kind of relate with this movie in the sense how I started watching Boy Meets World, if that makes sense. It was a show that was on. I never really watched until I was a little bit older. And then I remember kind of jumping through that show very quickly, where I'd watch newer episodes. I'm like, oh, he's an adult already. And that's how I experienced seeing this movie. I remember seeing Goof Troop, and then I'm watching this like, oh, Max is an adult. They actually aged him. Like, it didn't make sense to me. I was like, oh, he aged. So I think that was actually why I like this movie though so much.
Now or when you were a kid?
Both.
Yeah. I think it definitely, like, the themes and the story kind of go over your head when you're a kid, because when you're a kid, you're not at that point of, I need to get away from my parents, kind of. Like, no kid really has that thought. It's like, I can't, you don't
maybe
also have the thought that you can't survive, but like, your parents equal survival.
Yeah, this is a teenager movie, teenagers.
Yeah, for
movie.
sure.
For us who are younger, like I said, first grade, it's something that we kind of like experience, saying like, oh, that's how we're going to be when we grow up, but we don't understand it. But we kind of like want to do the things that we just always wanted to be older and have more freedom to do things. So I don't know. That's how I looked at it.
It's definitely more relatable now, having gone through those years of your life. And, yeah. I didn't grow up with a single parent, but I would imagine that some
and we don't exactly know why he's a single parent, but still.
We have lore of why we think he's a single parent. No, like we made this completely up. That since Goofy's so klutzy.
I was going to ask you that question. What would your theory be?
So we think since Goofy's so klutzy, he accidentally killed not accidentally, like accidentally, like no, like it was an actual accident. He accidentally killed his wife, and that's why Max isn't particularly fond of his dad, because he accidentally killed their mother.
That's pretty dark.
I
just said, yeah. I don't know.
What's your theory?
It's probably one of the two. Either the mom was just ran away with, another Disney character.
Oh no, she ran away with another character. That's so sad.
It's possible. You never know.
Oh. It is possible. That's pretty dark though too.
Having a single parent with a single kid, like that, it's just like automatically it's like what's the reasoning behind that? It takes two to make one. Why is it only one there? It's got to be a dark reason.
Yeah, but to me it's Disney and they always kill the one parent, so
I was gonna say they always kill the mom. Who are we gonna kill off? Always the mom. Anyways, so that being said, first experience as a kid, loved it, and I've loved it every era of my age. So like I'm saying, as a kid, I got to watch as a kid. I loved it. And then as a teenager, I had a whole different experience watching it, but still with that love as a kid. And then as an adult, still watching it as if I'm a teenager, because pretty much I've never grown up. But still, I have that. I see this movie changing, and then I think I could watch this movie when I'm like 45 or 50 and see my eyes through Goofy's eyes and how that experience changed. So I think this movie will hold up for a long time for us.
Let me ask you this. Do you think kids today would like this movie?
No, I don't think so. Reasoning is because it's a little dated. I mean, maybe younger kids who are familiar with the character might think, oh, I know what that is, but I don't care to watch it. I don't know. You could say the same thing about Star Wars though, too. I don't know, the kids
very
Star
true.
Wars only or the old ones. I don't know. It's that kind of generation.
Yeah. Because when we were in Disney, of course, we were watching Max fish, and two little kids passed by, and I think one knew who he was, but then there was another girl that had no clue who he was.
Yeah, no one would know who that is. That's for you guys. That's for us.
Yeah, I think there was more adults watching than kids.
And then us trying to explain to those kids who that is, and then them not caring anyways. So
yeah, whatever. We care. We love them. We love this movie.
Of course I do. So do we want to just dive into the synopsis and the scenes, or do you want to do something a little different where we're going to actually discuss some of the people behind the characters first? Because I think this movie has a really awesome voice acting cast, and I wanted to talk about that as well.
Let's do that then. Let's shake things up. Let's talk about the voice acting cast.
Yeah, because I didn't know them, but I've always heard the voices somewhere. And I think like Goof Troop, it's the cast of Goof Troop, more or less. But you got the top of the best in this movie. So first off, who plays Max Goof? Do you know?
Oh, it's what's his name? His last name's Marsden, but his first
name is Marsden.
Yes,
and it's not James, but close.
Jason.
Yeah, which was his name on Boy Meets World.
Oh, he was on Boy Meets World.
And Step by Step.
Right. Oh my god.
And Full House.
He was just like on all of those 90s sitcoms.
So he's a Disney guy at this point.
Yeah. Is he related to
go
James
figure.
Marsden?
I have so many mind-blowing things to tell you about the voice acting in this movie. I can't wait.
Wait, is he related to James Marsden though?
No, they're not related though.
Oh, okay.
He gets that all the time, but no relation.
He gets it all the time.
I watched an interview with him over quarantine last year. He was like doing stuff, but just so you know, he is a voice actor of another movie that I think like it's a Halloween movie. Any guesses what? And I didn't know this was him.
And it's an animated movie?
No. It's a live action movie, but he does a voice of a certain animal in this movie.
Is he Thackeray Binks?
He is.
Wild.
He's also Thackeray Binks. He was doing an interview. He had like a little puppet Binks, and he's just like doing the voice of him. But that's not the actor who plays Thackeray. Like you see a Thackeray Binks at the end.
Yeah, it's the same. He just
that's actually the guy from NCIS. That's not even him. That's a different actor altogether. Yeah. But that being said, he does voice acting. Yeah. And he did this as well.
Distinct voice.
And it's like, you heard that voice from, and I knew right away who that guy was. I think I'm like, oh, that's a guy from Full House or Boy Meets World, maybe. I forget what I knew first, but or like Step by Step, I watched a lot of as a kid too. But he's great as Max Goof, and I like how he has like a deeper voice, and it kind of works though for Max for some reason. He's like more like a deeper voice young lad.
Yeah. I like
or
to
young
think that,
goof,
like,
young
Goof-
dog. I don't know.
Goofy, like their voices go low to high instead of from high to low. Like
I
as
know,
they
it
age.
was just
Like
it was good.
that's my lore of Goofy.
And then not the original Goofy, but I think has been Goofy the longest is Bill Farmer plays Goofy Goof. And we've known him from all the movies and Goof Troop in this.
I'm assuming, I think he does the voice in everything, like in the parks, like all the Goofy
right.
stuff now.
So I just
the new Mickey shorts
you
and
can't,
stuff like that.
He's the best. And like we were talking before, you got Jim Cummings as Pete is in this, has a kind of like a little side part. And do you know who voices Max? I'm sorry, not Max. PJ, his son, Pete Jr.
No, I don't.
It's a very famous voice actor, and he's been doing. And I've always connected that guy's voice to so many different franchises. That guy's
very familiar, but I can't pinpoint.
Okay,
like,
this is gonna blow your mind. His name is Rob Paulsen, and he's done. Where do we start? Animaniacs. He's Yakko.
Oh, yes.
And he does a billion other voices in that show. He's Pinky, in that. I knew him first from the Ninja Turtles original 80s, and he's Raphael.
Oh, wow.
And that series. But then they brought him back to be Donatello in the 2012 series. That was on Nickelodeon for a little while.
Yeah.
So they switcght him up. They gave him back another voice act in Ninja Turtles.
He voiced two different Ninja Turtles.
He's also Jimmy Neutron's friend.
Yeah, the short one. What's his name? Yeah.
Wheezy. What's it? What's Carl?
Carl?
What's his name? Carl.
No, or is the other one Carl?
No, that's Sheen. Or
So
Shane.
Carl.
Carl. I believe Carl.
Sheen,
the one with the
Jimmy.
glasses and the nerdy one. He's that
I think
guy.
It's Carl.
Anyways, he's done voice acting for so long.
Our fact checker is telling me we are correct. It's Carl.
Okay, Carl. There we go. I'm liking this fact checking. It makes it a lot. I'm a lot more confident.
Gonna miss it when I go home and when you don't have them anymore.
Call up our fact checker. Hold on. Let's just keep us on hold.
Just dial him.
So there's that. And then he's done a bunch of other things. Animaniacs, probably Tiny Toons, and there's a show called Hysteria. I think he did a bunch of voices.
Oh,
I loved
wow.
Hysteria. Hysteria was great. He did a bunch of voices on that. What else am I missing? I don't know. He's just awesome. So
there's probably so many things he's done.
Yeah. And then we got one of the best voices of this movie is Bobby, performed by, do you know? Bobby, his friend with the red hair and the mohawk.
Oh my God, what's his name? Pauly Shore. Oh my God.
There you go.
Brain dead. Pauly Shore, who is not credited in the movie, actually.
He's not? I'm surprised.
No.
What do they
He's
say?
not.
As himself?
No, apparently he didn't want to be credited. I don't know what they say because I honestly didn't pay attention, but apparently he told the directors and the producers he didn't want to be credited in the movie for some reason. Yeah.
Fact checker?
Fact checker, are we correct in that? He's shaking his head yes.
Okay. And then we said Jim Cummings, who's Pete and does Winnie the Pooh and the guys from Aladdin and a billion other Hercules movies. We mentioned so many of that guy's voice we hear all the time in Disney
For
movies.
anyone who's been to Galaxy's Edge, he does the voice of oh my God. I literally just was told his name too, and I can't think of it.
Yeah. I got one more voice for you. Did I skip over everybody? No, I got one more voice for you.
You skipped over Roxanne.
Okay, so you do Roxanne, and I got one more voice for you on.
It's Hondo Anaka. He does the voice of Hondo Anaka on the Smuggler's Run ride in Galaxy's Edge. For anyone who's been to the Disney parks. But yes, Roxanne is the only voice actor that I actually know. But Kellie, her name is Kellie something.
Okay.
Fact checker.
Fact checker.
Kellie Martin.
Okay.
Her name's
And she
Kellie
was on
Martin.
ER.
She was on
Yeah,
ER
I love
a while.
Roxanne and whoever that is. ER, I think is perfect for Roxanne's voice in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't? Roxanne is.
I wonder who her friend
a
is.
cutie.
I don't remember her friend, like
her friend,
like the valedictorian friend who's like nerdy,
Yeah.
but yet very smart, the brainy one. And probably just
some voice actor who did like miscellaneous characters
right
throughout the whole movie.
Two more actually. I have one more.
Two more.
The principal. Who does the principal?
Oh, it's the guy from Princess Bride.
That and what's his famous animated voice?
I forget his name. Animated voice. His name's Wallace Shawn.
Wallace Shawn, yes.
His famous animated voice.
He plays a T-Rex.
Oh, he plays Rex in Toy Story. Wow, I'm really blowing it today, guys.
He's great. I love him as the principal. I think it's so funny how that guy's so weird, but he's been in a bunch of Disney stuff. But I just think he's just so weird. He's really funny though.
Yeah. I mean,
this is oh, what's that?
I said he's in my Princess Bride is my favorite movie of all time, and I can't think of him in any other role other than.
Oh yeah, and I told you I just saw that movie, so Pizzini. I just like. There he is.
He was in. Apparently, he was in Clueless too.
Yes,
I don't know.
He's on a million things.
Rolling his eyes at me because I don't remember that.
She's on the spot. Everybody, it's okay. I've been ready to go since I just watched the movie, so I'm like, oh, so much to talk about.
Guys, I've moved on because we have to talk about.
I'm still on this goofy juice.
Some absinthe that I bought here in California too. I will link it because I don't remember where I got it.
Mm-hmm. And you're just absent in New York.
Who does he voice in he's in the Haunted Mansion. Apparently he's also in the Haunted Mansion movie with Eddie Murphy. And My Favorite Martian with Christopher Lloyd. And Jeff he is in My Favorite Martian, yeah.
He's like the annoying lab guy.
All right.
Okay. Well, so last voice is going to blow your mind. I can't wait to tell you this. And I didn't know why I didn't
blow my mind
up on this sooner. So the voice actor who's Max, Jason Marsden, that's not him as his singing voice, but do you know who sings as him? Fact checker, don't say anything yet.
It's not the same person that does Powerline?
No.
Oh.
That's a real artist.
Yeah, it is. I don't know.
This is actually another Disney associated person. I can't wait to share this with you.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know this.
Yeah, it's a bit of a deep dive, but I learned this and I'm like, how did I not know that? But I'm glad that I learned that because it's such a cool thing.
Who is that?
Okay, Tell me. I don't know. I can't remember his name, but he is. If you ever saw the Newsies, there's a Newsie kid, and he sings a lot and dances in a lot of that. And there's also a movie called Mighty Ducks 2 and 3.
Okay.
Where he plays a Bash brother, Dean Portman. If you ever saw those movies. I've
seen them, but I can't.
Fact checker must know what I'm talking about.
Who does the singing voice for Max?
If we can get his name, that'd be great.
He was in Newsies, and he was in Mighty Ducks 2 and 3. We might have stumped our fact funny checker. To me
because he sings in everything. He sings in
Chris knows who he is, but he can't think of his name.
I can't think of his name right now. I just call him Dean Portman because all our Mighty Ducks kids, we know him as Dean Portman. Can you pull up his picture?
We're gonna pull up his picture because I can't.
Well, that's really for you. I know who he is, but that's for you to see who he is. Like. Go for it, fact checker.
I didn't know he sang. Well, he's in Newsies, so
well, that's what I'm saying. I didn't put it together either until I saw him. Like that is him in Newsies because he's much younger. That guy.
I know who he is. Oh, yes. He aged.
And he's been a bunch of other things. But I think he was Broadway trained and all that other stuff, maybe, or just theatrically trained. So to know that was Max singing, it's really him singing Max. I was like, I love it even more. What a connection!
I got a suitcase and a dream. Suitcase and a dream.
What does he sing? He goes like, try out a alley or the harbor. I think that's his line.
I think that might be him. I don't know. Newsies.
We'll do that later down the road, but still.
He was married to Adina Menzel.
That makes sense.
He is.
Is he really?
He's currently married to Adina Menzel.
Fact checker is on top of this today. All right.
On top of it.
My gosh. Sometimes, guys, we just got to let it go. We just got to let it go.
Just gotta let it go. I'm just coming. The Disney lore runs deep.
All right. So that's all my voice acting knowledge I have. And then Tevin Campbell, who is the voice of Powerline / he's just the recording artist on this movie for one of the most awesome 2 songs we've ever gotten in animated movies, in my opinion. Love every bit of those songs.
There's so many great songs in this movie. Like,
what's your favorite though? Eye to Eye, or is it the other one?
No, I love the one. Oh, of the Powerline songs.
Yes.
It's I like Eye to Eye more.
Okay. But that was my favorite.
My favorite song in the movie is it Great Outdoor? No.
On the Open Road.
On the Open Road. I don't know why.
That's your favorite one?
Yeah, I love that song.
I mean, there's not too many songs in this movie, but they're just all really well done. I think if I were to rank mine, probably Eye to Eye stand out. And but those are the Powerline songs. But then of the musical songs, I'd have to go with After Today is my favorite. And then it's probably a tie between On the Open Road and Nobody Else Like You, which is the one at the end. So.
Oh, that is a good song too.
Mm-hmm. And then, you got at the very end, Lester's Possum Park. I don't know if you count that one.
It's very catchy.
It was on the soundtrack that I had as a kid.
Yeah.
So I listened to all of them. Those were like the 6 songs you listen to over and over again. So I did love that.
No, that is really good. And I think that's one of my favorite parts of the movies when they go to Lester's.
All right. Yes. All right, this keeps sticking down on the glass. It's really annoying.
Oh, no.
Okay, so should we just bang out the movie real quick? Because it's a short movie. I mean,
we don't have to go real quick. We can go whatever.
We got time. I mean, I wanted to. I didn't think I was going to go right into the voice acting bit so much because it usually comes up in the scenes. But I was just like, I gotta get this out first. I'm like, I don't think you know all this stuff yet.
I don't, and they didn't.
Even with the fact checker there next to you, I'm just like, these are facts that I just happen to learn.
All right. So we didn't talk about the basic plot. We probably should have done that earlier.
Okay, go for it.
Spoilers if you haven't seen it. Max is Goofy's son. And he likes this girl. He's trying to impress her. So he tells her, well, I guess before that, oh my god, I'm awful at this, you do it.
So Max is getting older, and he's Goofy's son, and we've all kind of known him as the young kind of cute kid from Goof Troop, and now he's older, has hormones, and he's getting more into girls. So he has this dream about a girl named Roxanne because it's a crush he has at school, and but he's really, really afraid of becoming his dad because he's embarrassed that he's going to be a big Goofy goof. And
Goofy goof.
Yes, and that's that nightmare scene where he turns into Goofy, and it's really great. And he wakes up, and he's the basic. It's all about impressing a girl. Most of the beginning of this movie, and he has this plan to just impress her with this crazy, take over the stage at the speeches at school with a Powerline, look-alike pretend show, I guess, that he does. Powerline being the pop star in this Goofy world that is basically a Michael Jackson, right? He's more or less like a Michael Jackson. I'd say Michael Jackson.
Prince, Michael Jackson. I think Bobby Brown maybe too.
Or Bobby Brown, a little bit of everybody. Yeah. So and then he gets in trouble because he caused a lot of disturbance during this assembly, and he also and Goofy has always seen him as this innocent boy, so this is like Max being bad, and he's gotta hit him with the newspaper or something, I don't know, just because that's what they do with these dogs. Yeah.
Oh no. Oh, it's terrible. It's awful.
But Goofy thinks and then he gets a call from the principal saying, oh, your boys should get the electric chair. Yeah,
the electric, which is so harsh of a principal to say to a parent. He's gonna get the electric chair.
Oh, that's why I love the principal. He's like causing a riot.
Yeah, he caused a riot.
That's one of the best transitions. I love. It's a very funny transition comically because they cut back and forth to school. That all happened, and Max got in trouble. Then they cut to Goofy working as a photographer at a mall or something, at a store as a baby photographer.
His job is to,
with Pete, and he works with Pete,
babies,
which I think is really funny. But I love Pete goes like, you got to be careful because you got, if he doesn't want, he's not spending enough time with Goofy anymore. He's separating himself from him, and he's just like, oh, it's probably something wrong. Maybe he's running around with some gangs. He's stealing stuff, causing riots. And I love that the principal calls him and goes like, he's like, he caused a gang riot.
Yeah,
he stole equipment, and he's like, what? He's like, he's gonna go to prison.
Yeah, it's a great transition.
It's just such a funny thing. I love that part so much. I laugh every time. And that baby scene is really cute. Them taking pictures of babies.
What a job to have, Goofy. But
he's like, what kind of income does Goofy have? He's taking photographs.
He's always getting fired from jobs. I mean, not to jump to extremely Goofy movie, but he's always getting fired from things because he's so
his
clumsy.
Fault? He's a little handicapped. Leave the poor man alone.
I mean, it's true. It's true. It's very true. But everyone's always firing him.
Yeah. That's why dogs don't have real jobs.
Wait, back to the quick plot synopsis.
Yes. Okay.
So Pete tells Goofy that he needs to get closer to Max, and Goofy decides that he's going to take Max on a summer road trip to bond with him and get closer with him.
Correct.
But however, Max doesn't want to go because he wants to impress this girl and take her to a someone streaming
like an MTV party.
On pay-per-view or something. And he chokes when he's talking to her and tells her that he's actually going to the Powerline concert and knows him personally.
Yeah,
come on.
Because he realized, he can't go because Goofy's like, and he's might as well. He doesn't want to lose her over something so stupid in his mind. Yeah,
on going. Over
I can't believe this is
trip.
my life is coming to an end in his mind, which I think is really kind of important because I think everybody has that minute. It's just like, my life is just so unfair that no matter what I do, I'm out of my control. What I want to do. Or like you get this cool opportunity that's a life-changing event and it just like out of your control, it just can't happen. Like that's so important to experience. Yeah. And it always bothers me. Like, I mean, Goofy to me is a little smothering because he is, but like, he's still trying to bond with his son. But there are times when Max is like, I'm going to stay in the car. Like he'd rather stay in the car than like experience anything cool or interesting on his road trip. Like he doesn't want to be there. Right. Yeah. It's wild to me. He's like, let's get this over with, Dad, as fast as possible so that I can humor you that, I could do some things because you're basically making me, but still also because, he's still Max Goof's son. I'm sorry. He's still Goofy's son, Max. So he's like, he's got to like, still be his son at the end of the day. Yeah. I guess because so my family we never took a road trip. I don't know if you ever went on like a really long road trip when you were a kid with your family. I never did. Later down the road we did. I'm talking about I remember 10 plus hours of a road trip. Yeah, we went to South Carolina for us in New York, so it's 14 hours. It's pretty long. Yeah, okay. That was the longest one we've done, and I felt that one. Yeah, definitely felt that one. That's long. Yeah, I've never been on a long road trip with my family. Like we always flew, so it wasn't like we didn't have this resentment towards each other ever. So I couldn't relate to that. It's when you're a kid, you could look at it as like, okay, it's a road trip. I'm in the back seat. Enjoy the trip. Yeah, it's long, but you'll get to where you want to go. Usually it's an experience. Yeah. I don't, like I said, there was a lot of road trips when we were younger because, my mom doesn't really like to fly. So driving is pretty more the choice of us of doing things. If we really had to, we did fly, but it wasn't not very often. I don't love the flying either, but I'd rather drive if I had to. Yeah. So this movie is just like, we're gonna go cross country. Where are they from? Does anybody know?
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out because they go cross country in about 2 days, and that's not a thing.
I was gonna say, or she says like you're gonna go halfway across the country. It's almost as if they're somewhere in the middle of US. I thought she
Maybe.
said, or was that the
Do we
line?
know
Or
where?
something?
Do we know where Goofy is from?
Fact checker.
Where Goofy lives? Because yeah, they go from their home to their destination in about 2.5 days, and it's way too fast for anyone to get to California from across the country.
You guys are the experts in California, not me. So I've been there
Yeah,
once
well,
as a kid.
it's a very long
We
drive
did not
from
drive.
New York. I'll tell you that much.
I know. Well, it's movie magic. You drive on the little red line, or you fly on the red line,
which
and
they
you get
basically
there.
do. They basically do that in this movie because Goofy has a literally drawn a map that he uses that he got with
It's
his
a great
father.
map. I love
It's
it.
a great map.
I love
With
it. Man.
the little
Well, I love
star.
it's just like, yeah, just in like
Yeah.
Los Angeles. Like Destiny, the fish. Just trying to get to that circle.
Oh, well, apparently they're from Spoonerville. I don't know where that is in the country.
Is that like a
but
Goof Troop reference? I'm assuming if it's
it could be a Goof Troop reference. I don't know.
If it's in
It
that
is a Goof. It is a Goof Troop. It is a Goof Troop reference.
It's Goof Troop, the movie. I mean, that's what I love about it.
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't love Goofy?
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah. So, one thing I wanted to talk about because I love it is the opening number of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's so amazing and it's so musical theater-esque, that opening.
I call it Grease.
Basically they just break out into song to give you exposition of the story. Basically.
And I love that guitar intro, like dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
That bass line too. Oh, it's so good.
It really is it's a great song, and it's a great way to start the movie because you don't have to sit around and wait for dialogue. They just do everything in 1 2-minute song.
What's the best line in that song? Do you know it?
No. Tell me.
I'm
What's your
gonna
favorite line?
sit on my butt. The bus driver. I'm like, did he just say that? It's like, yeah, that's his line.
He did. That's the line they gave him. Apparently, I think it was this song. They, because like the songs that end up in movies aren't usually the songs they start writing. Like they narrow it down or they write multiple songs. So apparently they had like several other songs that they were considering.
Okay.
Until they actually got to this song, and I'm glad they did this because it's.
I don't know
so
who
perfect.
wrote it. Yeah, there's no Mencken involved in this. Or anybody like
I'm pretty sure the guy who did the music for Newsies did this.
That's Mencken.
Newsies and
Mencken did Newsies.
So then it's not Mencken, but it's someone else maybe. Because then whoever did the music of Footloose, I think also.
Okay.
Wrote the music to this. We have our fact checker. We're using the fact checker a lot. We're using the fact checker.
It's okay. We usually don't write notes down. We usually just make them up.
We've been lying.
This has been a nice little bonus for us. So if it's available in time, that's fine. If not, it's also good. But I love the music. Like I said, the more theatrical musical songs that they just break out into song and not just the recorded artist songs.
Yeah.
Although I do love, and fast forwarding a little bit here, but when we get to Max, going like he just got asked out with he asked out Roxanne.
Yes.
Yeah, let's say Roseanne. Different lady.
Not Roseanne.
And he goes, and then he puts like the backwards hat on, the sunglasses. He's so cool. And he's just skateboarding home. And to just hear him when he does that, what's the line he says from the song? He goes like he sings Stand Out Again, but he's like going through the town, just like skateboarding through everything. Kind of like a Bart Simpson thing. But I just love, he goes, oh yeah, it's a piece of cake. I love that line.
Piece of cake.
I got whatever it takes. It's a piece of cake. Stand out. above the crowd, even if I got a shadow. That part's and
Okay,
he goes,
so the score.
yeah. I'm sorry.
So the score of the Goofy movie was provided by Carter Burwell. We're gonna find out where he's from though and what he's done in the past. I don't know why I thought Newsies.
I mean, it's very musical type of beginning. Kind of sounds like that a little bit. What is he saying?
Nothing. He
Fact
did
checker.
the score for. He did the Psycho 3 score. Very famous Psycho 3 score.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Psycho Gorman score. I'm like, no.
He's did a lot of like movie scores.
That's cool.
Okay. Anyway. But I love when he makes his dad stop at Roxanne so that he could like break the news to her that he can't take her to the party.
Yeah.
And like her big hulking dad like answers the door.
Oh yeah, Daddy.
He's just like, yeah. Mm.
It's like,
So apparently that is the voice of the director.
oh yeah,
Mhm.
and who directed this movie?
I don't know who directed this movie, to be honest.
Just
But
gotta
you
stop
know who
asking
knows?
questions at this point.
Fact checker knows.
I feel so bad. We gotta pay that man an extra drink tonight,
Kevin Lima
or a
directed
woman.
this movie. It's a man. Oh, it's a guy. Our fact checker is a man.
It's actually a machine. I would say it's not a person.
We have a robot.
Yeah. So okay, that's cool. Didn't know that either.
Yeah.
I just so they finally break the news to Roxanne. He says he's in deep sludge because he knows he lied and now he's feeling all his guilt. But he's like, I don't know. I don't have a choice. I want her to like me no matter what. So he feels, he feels basically cornered to lie. And that's all he's thinking about this whole trip. Mrs. Roxanne, he's driving with his dad. And we get that really nice opening number of that, the one is your favorite, on the open road.
Yes.
Because they were fighting over the radio and they break the radio and had a clever way to get music back, and we'll just make up some music all around us, whatever he says.
I love the song that he plays when he's like, I got something I used to sing with my dad. And it's like, is it I got the whole world in my hands? Is it? No. Yes.
High Hopes.
Oh, it is High Hopes. It's
He's got high hopes. Oh, I got to tell you one of my favorite lines when Max wakes up from the dream and he's like, oh, hold on one second. Oh my gosh. What just happened there? You there?
Oh, you disappeared.
I just got another Zoom call in the middle of nothing.
A Zoom call from who?
Must have been a robot Zoom. That was really weird. That's the first time that's ever happened.
So weird.
Who wants to join in on our review?
That's so bizarre.
On the show?
Like, that's so strange.
I was like, who's calling me? That'd been funny. I just opened it and somebody was there. And it's probably like some inappropriate thing. But that's
but they're
okay.
not calling. The thing is, they're not calling you because this is my Zoom.
I don't know. They were calling me. I don't know. I hung up. Maybe it was just a phone call.
Bizarre.
It was just weird. But yeah, like they do that song because they don't have the radio. But my favorite line was when he wakes up and he goes like, his room is a disaster and Goofy's like cleaning up and he has the towel wrapped around his head and he goes like Max, thought we talked about this. I used to say that all the time.
I mean, I think that image of Goofy with the towel wrapped around his head has turned into quite the meme nowadays.
Is it really?
Yeah, I don't think it is specifically a meme, but I've seen it like floating around the internet.
Yeah,
definitely.
When they're at Roxanne's too, I love it. He goes like, just a minute, you party animal, you. And Goofy's like, he's like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he knows Powerline. Okay.
Come on, so we gotta hit the road.
When I was a kid, the scene I don't know why it scared me, but it scared me. So when Pete pulls up in the big RV, when they go to they pull up when they're at the Possum.
Right. They go finally to a camping ground. They're driving. Was that after? Wait, that's after Lester's, right?
Yeah, it's after Lester's.
Oh, I gotta talk about Lester's though. Okay, talk about that RV first.
No. Let's talk about Lester's first.
Because to me, that something about that too reminds me of like road trips or just stopping at some random place somewhere on the road that's like there for tourists to just come by and do something just insane.
we did a whole lot of that on our road trip.
Yeah.
Like last week, we stopped at random stuff. So I understand.
And having like this weird little show with like animatronics or something. I don't know, something like that definitely made me feel connected to a road trip with my family. We'd always stop somewhere weird like that. So, oh, you still there? You froze for a minute. Don't have you. Uh-oh. Where are you?
I don't know what happened.
Okay, we're back. I don't know either, but we're recording.
But we're recording. So I just have footage of you trying to talk to me?
Yeah, because I was trying to stop the recording if it wasn't, I was afraid we are going to lose whatever we had. So I just left it alone.
We won't. I'm pretty sure it should just continue.
I didn't touch anything. I hit pause, but I was about to hit stop. And I'm glad you came back in as soon as I did that. So I didn't want to stop the recording.
We could have just like continued it. It's fine. We're fine. We're fine here.
We're back. We're back.
What were we talking about?
Okay. So we're talking about the Lester's Paulsen Park and how like that reminds me of like being on the road and stopping at some weird place where there's some kind of weird show or some kind of weird event, like tourist attraction like that. And it's like a possum weird thing.
It's so weird. And I love how like, because Max won't like play into the whole possum thing. Everyone's just like, well, he does do it. And everyone's like, oh, what a loser. And I'm like, well, you're all at the possum park.
Yeah, I know. That kid just kind of comes out of nowhere just to mess with Max, right?
Yeah. We actually
that little girl though. I have to talk about.
Talk about her. Go.
Where she's like, no, mommy, I don't want to go. She's getting dragged in.
Like,
and then
crying.
You see her like 5 seconds later, like laughing, clapping along with the possum song. But then like 5 seconds after that, you see her again crying and screaming. I'm like, it's such a kid, just crying and screaming. Then I'm okay. Then crying and screaming again. Oh, and there's such a funny line where, I mean, Max is like on his last straw, and he's like, Goofy's all excited. Come on, let's go, Max. And Max gives this really funny, almost adult line where he goes, my life is a living, and then the possum mascot comes over and goes, hello. I love that.
Amazing.
It's like such a funny joke. The jokes are great in this movie though too. The humor is so good. So good.
It's definitely it's not like that it's so adult, but it definitely went over my head when I was a kid. I feel like it wasn't like kid humor.
A little bit more teenage humor in there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
When we went on a road trip, we stopped at an ostrich farm, and it definitely made me think of the possum.
Just like a Lester possum.
Yeah. It's like, oh, we need singing and dancing.
Yeah. And then so right after that, Max basically has a meltdown and he tells Goofy, I want to leave and go home. Get away. I'm so embarrassed by my dad being just a crazy goofy goof. It's
just
like
being
he
a
was
goof?
singing and being and dancing and making him feel so out of place. So we've all been there.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
It's good. Like I said, just he feels more detached again. And Goofy feels, you feel bad for Goofy. He doesn't know what to do. He's just trying everything he can. Nothing's working.
Yeah. He just wants to be friends with his son. That's it. That's
Yeah. He just wants to do the same things that he think he'd like. That's all.
Yeah. Stuff he did with his dad.
Yeah.
So he.
So then they go to like they wake up. They're like the next morning. That's the camping ground. So you were talking about that with the RV was like coming.
Yeah, that RV. I don't know why that RV.
Awesome RV.
It's an awesome RV, but that scene always scared me when I was a kid. I don't know why.
Really?
It was like very intense. It's a very large.
I love
RV.
it. This is like a bowling alley pops up and then a big pool. It's so cool.
But like, you know what's funny
yeah.
to me? Pete literally has the same job as Goofy. Like they both are photographers at the same store.
Yeah,
And
but who's to
Pete
say
has
how
this,
much
like,
money Goofy saves up for his son and how much Pete blows on his toys? Just
oh,
saying.
very true. You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. Yeah.
I know that. No.
Yeah.
But I love when Pete goes, he comes in. I used to say this a lot. I had a friend that always asked me, we used to talk about the Goofy movie all the time, and I would just do the quotes from the movie. And this is one of them. As soon as Goofy gets knocked on the head and he sees Pete coming in the silhouette, and he's like, Pete? And he goes like, oh, Goofy? What a serendipity doodah! Who'd have thunk it, huh?
The impressions are spot on.
And then, Max catches up with PJs inside, like dancing to
Powerline.
Powerline. So I have to tell you about this. My friend and I, we used to be obsessed watching this movie. We used to have sleepovers. We used to watch it. And we actually slowed down that scene just to learn the handshake. We used to do that handshake to each other all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You'll have to teach me.
Yeah. He goes like, Max.
You need a longer
wilderness, dude. What?
I said you need a longer line so you could do that impression more.
Hey, everyone heard about you and Roxanne. I told you, expect a lot of impressions this whole movie.
No, I'm into it. I love it. And then they
keep them under your thumb. You'll never end up in the gutter. Okay,
Pete's
sorry.
Pete's parenting advice is not ideal.
No.
But I love when they're in that hotel room, right? Is there there's a fish tank?
It's called, should I tell you what it's called?
Yes.
I mean, I just watched the movie, so I know but I would have remembered what it's called because I love that hotel. And I wish I always see that scene. I'm like, that is something else that kind of remind me of old days. Maybe going more to like Ocean City or something like that. Not that the hotels look like that, or just something about the vibe of like you go to like this kind of cool atmosphere.
You get a lot of like, as since we just went on the road trip, you can get a lot of kitschy motels and hotels that you stay at. Right. Definitely.
But how cool was it? Like it was called the Neptune Inn, by the way, and it's like these kind of aqua themed kind of, I don't know why, but it's called the Neptune Inn. And I love that the water bed has real fish swimming in it, and and then he's what was it? Because they were starting to bond a little bit before that, correct?
Oh, you know what? I skipped ahead because Max.
We skipped ahead a lot.
Max finds the map that they're using to navigate.
Right, but why? Goofy, but why does he find the map though? Do you remember why? Because they're stuck in the car.
No.
So they're stuck in the car because who did they reel in?
Oh my god, I forgot the whole thing.
We skipped the whole. You're skipping a little bit of a chunk there, but that's okay. I got you back. I reeled you back in. Did you see what I just
goofing this
there?
episode up. So they get to the lake where they're supposed to fish, and Goofy knows the perfect cast of his fishing line.
Yes,
the perfect cast.
I used to do that. Quarter of the third. And then he goes, I'm a little deep on the wind up and let her fly. The perfect cast.
You're just way too good at that impression. It's
I told you it's coming.
But yeah, so they accidentally catch a bear and they have to stay in their car all night.
Don't catch a bear. They catch Bigfoot.
Oh yeah, it is Bigfoot, right? Because they're gonna be rich. Yes. Max,
they catch Bigfoot, not bear. So they catch Bigfoot.
The bear is in the Christmas movie, which I am clearly misremembering.
Oh, okay. I got you. No worries. I got you. And Bigfoot, they run back to the car, and then that's when they get stuck in there.
Mm-hmm.
And you had this awesome, really funny scene where you see like the Bigfoot is like, he's got the luggage and he's doing like puppet shows. And then he's dancing to Staying Alive in the back. I always laugh so hard when you just see him in the background. Because the radio falls on his head and he's like, and he goes, funny. I love this movie. It's so funny. So anyway, so having been stuck in the car, that's when Max can't sleep because they're both snoring so loud. And then he gets the map comes in, and he's like, and he was like writing a note too to Roxanne saying, "I lied," or "I can't wait to see it on stage." Blah, blah, blah. He can't make up his mind. Anyways, that's spiel. Talk about the map.
Yeah, so he sees the map and he winds up changing their trajectory to Los Angeles.
Right.
And then it just so happens that the next day, Goofy entrusts him as being the navigator of the trip in the diner, and it's so awkward. That scene bothers me all the time. When he like announces.
Do you notice there's also the nuns that were on the road are behind them sitting?
Oh, no, I never didn't notice.
I love that. And then like a fake Elvis is sitting at the table at the counter. I mean, so funny. I always want those. Funny. I always want that short stack though that he brings out. That she brings out. It's like short stack, eggs.
Eggs.
Yeah, and then he makes this. Yeah, the big announcement to
the big announcement. And it's just like. It always makes me so uncomfortable.
Goofy, nominate my son Maximilian.
I just think even as an adult today, if one of my parents did that, it would embarrass the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it bothered me so much.
Nobody would do that.
No.
One time, I told you I was at a movie theater and this girl I went to high school with just turned around before the movie started. What movie did I see? I think it was the movie Our Idiot Brother with Paul Rudd, and he had a big beard and he was like a hippie or hipster. And there was a baby in that movie that just so happened to be the niece of that girl I went to high school with or something like that. Before the movie started, I kid you not, she got up, turned around to the entire theater and was just like, guys, that's her niece that's going to be in the movie. Okay.
Jesus.
And then all of us awkwardly sat there. And I couldn't help but to just go like, slow clap. Like, I don't know what to do. We're like, okay. She's like, yeah. Talk about crickets. Anyways, so it was kind of like that. But all these people though did the opposite of that. They're all cheering for Goofy.
I'm just like, oh no, that's like a cringe moment. So cringy.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I love that scene where there's the fork in the road and they have to like choose to go to Los Angeles or not.
Yeah,
like,
the junction. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But what did I want to tell you? Oh, I just want to tell you about the Neptune Inn and how cool. Okay. And that's exactly the scene where they're having pizza, by the way. So
oh yeah, you know what? When you said before, I was gonna be like, oh, were they having pizza when they meet?
Yeah, and that's like such a hotel thing to do. Like, what are you gonna do for dinner? Order pizza and hang out in the room or something. Like, I love that idea. Like, and then that hot tub, like the lighting and the like. I love the animation and the look in this movie. Like, I really believe that's a real hot tub. Like every time. I don't know.
The animation is great in this movie.
So good.
Unfortunately, an extremely goofy movie. It's not so hot compared to this.
It's a different budget. You could tell it was a different type of budget, different type of everything. It was a quick one, and I still love it for what it is. So and it came exclusive to the video, so you knew they kind of like made a quick one. Hey, why not? I like it. I still like it.
The Neptune is great, and yes, pizza. That's where it was, and I was gonna say it before. But...
what's the next part I was gonna get to? You were saying the junction because Pete was warning him. He heard that Max changed the map
and Goofy didn't want to believe it because he trusts his son.
No, I love my son, or whatever he says. So they get to the junction and then he goes like, here comes our junction. Now Max, which is it, left or right?
Oh,
and then they go left, and then that is one of the scariest and creepiest parts of the movie where Goofy has that look of just disappointment. Oh, so heartbreaking.
I always feel so bad for Goofy.
I know. This whole movie, you feel bad for Goofy.
Yeah.
And the next movie.
You always feel bad for him because like he is very overwhelming and overbearing, but he's very endearing.
He's a victim of his own body, his own self. That's the problem of just
He's very
being
lonely.
very,
It's very sad.
just being himself. And he's like the kindest, sweetest thing.
Yeah. He really is. I love him.
But he's just, like he said, he's just dorky and quirky and goofy. You can't do much about that.
No, you can't.
What's the next thing I wanted to say? And this is where like they have this fun of like, Goofy realizes that Max has officially been playing him and not been truthful. But Max is finally just, gets caught, and he's like, okay, let me explain it myself at least.
Yeah.
He's talking to
honest.
Goofy. Yeah. Trying to be honest what happened. And then that's when they have this really great argument. And then, well, it's really not an argument. They like Goofy's upset, Max upset. It's like, you're not going to listen to me. I'm not going to tell you what the reason is, because Goofy just feels betrayed in a lot of ways. And then the car goes rolling down the street. And then and then becomes a basic like kind of Disney ending with a crazy like action scene, which I like. I like this action scene. I think it's really funny.
They're always so
I remember this in the
silly
trailers a lot though too, like seeing that car like falling apart, and
they're always enjoyable.
like wow.
Well, yeah, and then Goofy always does his infamous howl, like oh,
that's
like
pretty good.
Those. No, that wasn't good at all. Don't lie to me.
I thought you had the right pitch. I heard it. It sounded good to me. You just needed the ending part. You just said, "Woo-wee." You just needed that.
I can't do it.
Close enough. But yeah,
I'm not you. I'm not good at it like you.
Doesn't make me any better of a person. Trust me.
You're good at Goofy impressions. You get a notch.
I'm just a goofy person.
You get a point in my book, Christopher.
But yeah, then the car goes crashing into this river, and then they kind of get lost and stuck. And this is where we get a great song.
Sing it.
I don't know, how's the first line go though? I just watched it though. I know the melody. Nobody else but you. And then I don't know, this is great. Look, like I when I have it on, I can follow along, but I can't think of the first line. That's me with every song though. I need the lyrics, just get it all done. But I just like the harmonies, and it's not a complex written song, but that's what I like about it. Very simple.
Yeah.
And
it's like they needed something for this moment where they're bonding, like they're actually bonding, and it's perfect. So it's so simple and it works.
Something about like the visual of them in this water and going down this stream. Something with the sound of the keyboard hits me with all of that visually. I don't know what it is, and I don't know, it's like this kind of soothing. It makes me feel like I'm at an aquarium maybe or something. I don't know, I can't explain it, but I like the keyboard used in it. It's a synthesizer kind of keyboard from like the 80s. Very cheesy commercial kind of sounding keyboards that you hear in the 80s, early 90s. And then they finally they almost die down this waterfall. And then it takes Max but like before that, like he confesses to Goofy. He's like, yeah, this is what happened. And then Goofy finally understands him. Oh, why didn't you tell me? He's like, I don't know.
Which is so relatable, right? Because like
why would you want to tell your parents about your personal business? As long as do it.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, it's very relatable.
Some people are closer with that. That's great too. I think it's a good lesson for people who are closer with their kids, that maybe this is something that they didn't learn, that, oh, I never knew my kid would not open to me like that.
Yeah. Or people that aren't close to their kids. And
yeah. It's hard. Adolescence.
Yeah, yeah. So he doesn't know what to do about it. No, doesn't know. Take us home, Chris.
Nobody knows.
Take us home.
But
Nobody knows.
So they finally almost die. Goofy almost dies, and that's where the credits could have rolled, but they decided to keep going with the movie. And Max
gets what he
on
wants.
this like parachute, basically.
Mhm.
Luckily. Oh, and then he had Goofy by the fishing rod, but the cork slipped off of it, and that's where Goofy falls. But then he had to do how else is he getting back with the fishing line hook with the perfect
catch. Oh, I hate that you're so good at that.
I like when he goes like a little fly. And then
So
he goes, I love that transition with the like, he said, well, also like Goofy understands him and he says, okay, so let's go and do what you wanted to do. Like, how awesome is Goofy? He's like, all right, well, it's not going to work out, son. We have to go home. Like, that's probably what most parents would do. Like, you're out of your mind, kid.
Like, it's time to
Goofy's
go home.
like, no, we're going to make this happen for you. How awesome is Goofy? Come on.
I mean, Goofy's super positive and like, I don't know if it's just like, so part of me, it's like, this is
now the next thing to do is get you on stage with this Powerline fella.
He's just like, I don't know if it's just desperation of the fact that he needs his son to like him, or if he's just super positive. You can't really tell what Goofy.
I think he would do anything for Max. I always like he's a great parent, and you do anything for Max. He's like, if that's what we need to do to just bond, and it sounds like, why not? Sure.
Like, let's get you on stage. Let's do this. Yeah. And lo and behold, what do?
Oh, they got on stage, but after a few obstacles.
Okay, tell us about them.
Well, I think one is they kind of sneak backstage where Max is hidden in a drum case, a bass drum case, and then Goofy somehow fits into like this big this big bass, like whoever's playing bass in this concert. I have no idea.
It doesn't make sense.
But Max is like, all right, this is a bad idea. He starts freaking out, and then Goofy's like, no, we got it, or whatever he says. And then somehow they magically get on stage because it's just a kids movie, and it's really awesome though. And there's this big bouncer guy trying to get ending. Max. Yeah, and but like as soon as they go like that transition I was talking about before, where they're in the sky and they're like, all right, let's go. It's not over yet, the vacation, and then they zoom in on the map, and you see that little stadium in Los Angeles, and then it's the big stadium, and then you hear the coolest intro to any Disney original song. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Do, 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 do. Oh, so I learned how to play this song. It's the chords are awesome. It's not my favorite
song, but I love that song. Yeah.
But like the chords are awesome. The key's awesome. I love this key. The melodies amazing. I love it. I think it's a perfect song.
It really is, because it sounds like a pop song from the 90s. Like that's what it is.
I remember hearing the commercial and hearing that hook of this song and be like, oh, that sounds like a really cool song. But I only thought it was for the commercial. And then like you realize it's actually in the movie and it's like part of the movie, which makes it even better.
Yeah.
I wonder if kids who saw like Zootopia feel that way about that movie. There's like a pop song in there by the Pop Giraffe.
Oh, well, first of all,
I like that song. Yeah, it's a good song. But I bet they relate to that the way we relate to this song. I want to say
probably.
I bet that's how they feel about that song. Why not? They deserve to.
Yeah. I mean, they should have the same experiences that we did when we were kids.
It's like, you got the giraffe song, it's not bad. We got this goofy goof song.
We got Powerline.
We got this Powerline song with his waist like this big. He's dancing up a storm.
He has that like curly hair that's like
he's got the pompadour electricity thing. He's got two girls in each hand just to make sure he can teach you how to dance with not just one but two.
Yeah, I got two.
Because it's high too high.
Oh.
I'm kidding. Yeah. But yeah, it's just a great song, and that ending is just really sweet. How they actually get up on stage, but how Powerline doesn't freak out; he just goes with it.
Yeah, it's just like whatever. There's fans on stage with me dancing. Cool.
Yeah, I just love that key change though. It's such a cool thing. I don't know. This blows my mind to this day. It's very musically written that way, I'm sure. But how like it builds up to have Goofy gets on stage, I believe, right? Yeah, because Max is like up at the rafters, like trying to hide or whatever. And somehow Goofy gets on stage. He goes in that ball thing and explodes, and he's just there. And it's like, what is Goofy gonna do? And he does the perfect cast, but he also does like some other breakdance moves, like the
Max tells him, he's like, Dad, do the perfect cast.
But then he finishes with the moonwalk because he's Goofy.
Yeah, and Goofy knows
he can do anything,
of course.
But then I love Max. He swings down. That other guy, I think, gets hits into a TV screen and I think just gets murdered. and then Max comes back through, and he's like, I love that. Take a side and see, yeah. And then the key changes right there, around there. I think it's like around there. I want to say it's such a like a build up is what I want to say, and then it comes into them, and then somehow Goofy and Max know the choreography cold.
Yeah, so, they like know it perfectly.
Yeah, that's awesome. But it looks great with the animation. It's like you're looking at a real concert. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's really well done. I'm like, I want to go see Powerline. I'm sure that guy did a lot of that.
They could have easily ended the movie there, but they didn't, and they added that whole bit with Roxanne.
I think it's important to just have that. Yeah, you couldn't end the movie there. I think it gave Max that little bit of closure of what happened, and Goofy. Yeah.
Because like I'm still not so watching this movie, I'm still not convinced that Max deserves a happy ending.
No, but yes, he does learn his lesson.
He learns his lesson, but I don't think he necessarily deserves like getting the girl, getting Powerline.
Well, he says, I think he does, because he doesn't really just, it's not like he got that by accident. It wasn't like, oh, I deserve this. It was just like, I will just do this just for one last hope of desperation. And it's not to trick her, because he confesses anyways after that.
Yeah.
But like that was Goofy doing it for his son. He's like, we're going to do this regardless. That's how I look at it. That had nothing to do with Roxanne. That happened. That was for Max. It's like, we're going to do this together because we're in Los Angeles. Let's just go for it. I don't know. That's how I look at it.
Let's just do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, you're probably right too. It could be like, does he really deserve it? Maybe not. That's kind of a gray thing.
Yeah, I would have liked it. I think I would have liked it without that last scene where he goes back to Roxanne and he tells.
Yeah, but this is a Disney movie. We can't disappoint the kids.
Yeah, I guess so.
But
oh no, it fell.
The Goofy case fell. It just went, yeah, right down. That was a good one. So when they get back, my favorite joke of this ending though, what? The car is they drive back in the car.
Oh yeah,
the car fell off of a waterfall. Yeah,
and the car is
just
there,
like craps out on them. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
it's like and then Goofy's trying to fix it, and then he just hits the bumper, remember, and he's just like, oh. So funny. And then he gets his classic right back into the house, Roxanne's house.
Yeah.
You would think that now I could see Max and Goofy not being deserving. They just put a hole through her roof, you know.
They destroyed someone else's property.
Max, I gotta see someone else. You're destroying my house and your car. Sorry.
I mean, she does see someone else because in the next movie, completely gone.
Yeah, but that happens in a lot of those like sequels where the main character has a love interest and then they go to the next movie. It's very few times that love interest stays.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't think I can't think of too many, unless it was like a big character where she needed to stay for a franchise. You don't really see it.
Like Gremlins.
Yeah, that's because we all love Phoebe, but that's what I'm saying. Like we gotta like find. It's very few stories that will change, that will keep the same actress. It's like even like Austin Powers or James Bond. It's like that kind of thing. Well, it was a fembot all along.
Yeah, it doesn't serve the plot to keep her around, to be honest. So yeah.
That movie,
I mean, we
to
really
this day,
oh,
good.
Austin Powers.
Yeah, we'll talk about that another day. But just that funny idea of just like, but I like it is a happy ending. It's a kids movie and it's a Disney movie. But the fact that Max learns his lesson, he confesses to Roxanne saying, I lied to you, I did this, everything I did was wrong. I'm sorry, you don't have to like me, blah, blah, blah. But she's like, you're crazy. I don't know what you're talking about. I liked you anyways. So, but it's really not fair to Max. It says she's like, I'm going to go with somebody else. Like, she wasn't giving him a chance. Like, what if like he said something like, I have a family emergency or something. And she's like, I don't know. Maybe I'll just go with someone else.
Yeah, she's like guilt tripping him.
You ladies are tricky.
Don't rope me into that or whatever.
I'm not throwing you into that. I'm just saying it's
I feel
confusing.
attacked. Please stop.
Oh, are you a cartoon dog?
Are you a cartoon dog?
I was going to say something else, but I cannot say that on this show.
Please refrain. Don't say it.
You know where I was going with that.
Yeah, I did. Please don't say it. But yeah, so we didn't have time to talk about Extremely Goofy Movie, so we might have to do another episode.
We're gonna save it for another one. I was just overall thoughts of Extremely Goofy Movie is that I enjoyed it when I saw it, and I knew what it was for what it was. I
mean, I missed the music. So one thing I really wanted to talk about was the royalty-free ska music that they play in that movie. I know you didn't watch it.
Ska movie. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. They do it. They do it.
They do like.
Yeah,
they
it's
do
during
like
all
the
skateboarding
all the
and stuff.
is like royalty free. Like they don't. There's a couple of like, but a lot of the music is royalty free. And I hope you watched. I wanted you to watch it so that we could talk about it. But
what's that?
The royalty free ska music.
Oh. That's the name of the band?
No, it's royalty free because they don't have to pay for it.
No, okay. I was like, wait a minute. Are you saying what I think you're saying, or you're saying that's the name of the group? I'm like, I don't remember. I don't know the name of the group that does the ska music. I'm like, wait, are you actually saying what I think I'm saying?
Wild. Like this movie is it feels very different from a Goofy movie because you can feel that their budget was definitely lower than.
Yeah. To me, I don't know the background of anything. It could be. I'm sure there's a contract reason, and there's probably a million other reasons why they made it. I can't tell you why.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
But I'm just happy that almost everybody came back for that movie, except Roxanne. I would think almost all the main Goofy characters came back to do that movie.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it was pretty much all.
I mean, even Bobby and Bobby was like more involved, and like Pauly Shore, they got him. I thought that was really funny that they got that.
Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby is the guy from the first Goofy movie. That's his friend that helps him out with the whole stage, and he's the Cheddar Whiz guy. That's Pauly Shore.
Oh, Pauly Shore.
That's his name, Bobby.
Yeah, they even got Pauly
Or
Shore.
Robert Zimmerowski is his real name.
Is that his real name in real life?
No. His name in Pauly Shore's, who voices Bobby. Bobby's name.
Oh, his
full
real
name is Robert Zimmerowski.
Gotcha.
Because that's what the principal guy calls him in, and he's like, "Hey, Maze, what's up, bro?" It's
amazing.
Pizza.
I've never had a desire in my life to eat Cheese Whiz. Never.
Oh, never. It's disgusting.
Never.
I mean, you gotta you gotta own it if you really love it.
Ugh. Oh, thanks. But yeah, extremely Goofy movie. Overall thoughts to me. I don't like it as much, obviously, as Goofy movie because there's no music and the story's not as great, not as charming. But I do enjoy it. I like it. It's fun.
I look at that movie as a college movie, and I like college movies, so I think I have a soft spot for college movies.
Yeah.
And college shows, so I got like a Boy Meets World vibe when I watch it.
Boy Meets World. Yeah. I think
like the later seasons, obviously.
I said when they go into the coffee shop of Extremely Goofy movie, I said, "Oh, it looks like the coffee shop from Boy Meets World."
Yeah, exactly. That's all I think about.
Yeah,
and like the fact that Max is the same age as like what Corey would be during that year.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw parallels to that. And I think I just
I think
and I
I
love
also
Max, and I love how they drew Max older and he acted. You know,
yeah.
he aged more again. I don't know. I just thought that was cool. We grow up with these characters, and it's like kind of cool to see that they are aging and they're growing up in this fantasy mind world of entertainment and you know, that there is just that they know their audience is growing up as well, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and here we are as adults still talking about it.
Why not?
Yeah,
But like my friend and I, we used to watch Goofy Movie and then right into Extremely Goofy Movie, and that's how it is on Disney Plus. But like, I always would have to pop it in right after that. It's kind of like a Wayne's World 2 vibe that I would get when I watch those two.
I still haven't seen Wayne's World. You know this.
Yes, that I do know. But I'm saying for those who are Wayne's World fans and have seen most of those people probably understand that too.
We probably should mention that a Goofy Movie, an Extremely Goofy Movie, are available on Disney Plus to watch. So if anybody has a Disney Plus account, you can watch these movies there.
If not, we have it available right here on my
on DVD. Chris has it on DVD.
Sure, it's still in good shape. So no scratches.
But yeah, that's all I want to say. I feel like this was definitely
a goofy episode.
Yeah, very goofy.
Between the Wi-Fi cutting out.
Yeah, that's weird. It happened. That never happens. Oops.
Yeah, I said it's perfect. That's good.
Totally goofy.
I'm glad we finally got to talk about Goofy Movie.
Yeah, we finally did it.
And I did I forget any famous lines? No, I think I got them all in there. So I'm happy I got to do all the quotes that I think I always would say.
We should definitely post a short clip of you doing a Goofy impression.
Hi, Dad, soup.
Oh yeah, hi, Dad, soup.
Hi, Dad, soup.
Yeah,
like bye.
I love you. Say I love you.
Me?
Yeah.
Or I love you.
Oh. Oh.
Your granddad taught me that.
No.
Back in the Yosemite. Whenever he's
back in the Yosemite.
I told you it was coming. I love that.
I know,
I love
and I'm here for it because
Goofy.
You were discussing. You do so many good impressions, and Goofy is probably top tier of your impressions.
It's one of my better ones, I guess. I don't think I do it as well as I probably have gotten better after just watching it like a minute ago.
Like coming off of it.
It just kind of stuck there in my head. Yeah. That's the problem with me. Whenever I'm watching Schwarzenegger, very impressionable voices, I have to hear it all day or say it all day. It's like I just need to talk as those characters.
No, it's very good.
All right. Well.
Yeah.
Becky, I missed you, and I hope everything's well.
I miss you too. I'll be home soon,
and I hope
so we can be
see
together.
This next. Yeah, I was gonna say I hope to see you next week. We can do this live at the recording studio.
Yeah, the recording studio. Yes. But yeah, if you're going on a road trip this summer, let us know what your vacation plans are. Let us know what you got going on.
Road trip movies of us to think of. I guess Dumb and Dumber is a road trip movie.
Yeah, Dumb and Dumber. I feel like I looked up a bunch of them, and some of them were like, "Oh, is that a road trip movie? Like they drive across one state? Is that a road trip movie? I guess so."
Yeah.
If you have any questions about my road trip, because I did not talk about it. I kept mentioning it, but I didn't talk about it.
That's going to be a whole nother episode.
Yeah, I need to talk about where I went because I feel like those that listen to us would probably.
And did you have a junction where you had to go left or right? Did you get lost?
Well, I'll tell you this much. If you have a junction where Reno is on your right and anywhere else is on your left, go to
Reno.
No, absolutely don't go to Reno. That much I'll tell you. That's the word.
The biggest little city.
Well, unless the Muppets are playing there, don't go.
We've been talking about this movie longer than the actual movie.
Yeah, we really have. Well, we had some issues.
There's a lot of info, and we talk about the details and the other movie a little bit as well. So
Yeah. But yes, we will leave you now. We will go. We'll make haste. Goodbye, everyone. Signing off. Your friends in time.
bye.